Social studies. We are doing a review for the exam tomorrow. And I have candy.
What's in it?
All right, so if you know the answer, raise your hand. Are you going to yell the answer out? No. No, I will not give you candy even if it's correct. All right. Are you ready?
Yes. I am so ready. Wait. Is my text ready?
All right, let's start with the map and then we can move on. So, I also in your review yesterday told you to know these two locations on the map. Can anyone tell me what the first one is? Jeremiah.
Massachusetts Bay Colony.
That is not the first one. What is the first one on your map? 25. Cole.
It starts with a P.
Plymouth. That is where who landed? Oh, good Lord. It like ricocheted off his desk. Who landed there? Machine. Yes. All right, now, what is the second one? 26. What is that location? You need to know these tomorrow for your test. Would highly recommend you knowing these. Hint, hint. Grayson.
Massachusetts Bay Colony.
Correct. That is correct. I don't know how well these are going to fly.
Are they Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah. All right, let us begin. We're done with the map. I would know that. I would seriously know that, friends. What is a prophet? What is a prophet? What does it mean? Tessa. That's right. So, you are right. So, just to clarify a little bit, a profit is after you trade your goods, the money left over. That is your profit. So, you're trading, the money left over from that trade is profit, meaning you pocket that. That is your profit. All right, good job. What is barter? What does it mean to barter? What does it mean to barter? James. I need more specifics.
Without money.
I need more specifics. You're close. So how does that look? You're trading what for what? You're not.
You're trading something for something.
Yes, you're trading goods for goods. There's no money. So I kind of gave the next question away. I'm sorry. What is the difference between barter and trade? What is the main difference between bartering and trading? Owen.
You have to buy the thing from them for trading, and then for bartering, you give them one thing, and then they give you another.
Yes. So the main thing to remember, bartering is trading for goods. There's no money exchange. Trading, there is money exchange. Good job. All right. What is a covenant? And who made the very first covenant? Jonathan. Friends, you better. This is important. So covenant. What is it? Who made the very first covenant? Jonathan.
God made a covenant with Israel.
Yes. And what is a covenant?
Agreement.
Yes. Beautiful. Whoa! Nice catch.
What was that?
What is a culture? What is a culture? This is concerning. Luke.
something that's made out of stone?
No. What is a culture that you would find in a society? Grayson.
Like where you live?
More to it. Olivia.
Like special artifacts in the culture.
Nope, not artifacts. It's very specific in a culture. We have a culture at High Point Christian School, in Middleton, in Madison, in the United States of America. What is a culture, McKenna?
It's like a building that is all around the world.
Toby, speak up, please. I can't hear you. You got to speak up.
She said
Kinda, but more. Owen.
what you believe in?
Yes, but there's more to it. Culture is what you believe in. It is where you live, but what is it? It is a way of... Helen.
Faith.
No. Emma.
Land.
What?
Land.
No. Wensheen. Yes! Culture is a way of life. I don't think y'all looked at the bold letters in your book like I asked you to do. I ran off all those papers for you to look at. Who looked at the papers? Honestly, I want an honest answer. Who looked at the papers? Okay, what does it mean to be a representative? A representative. What does a representative do? Christian. Who would like to help him? Cole.
He speaks for someone.
Yes. Who did not have representation and it was very upsetting to them? Didn't get far enough. So a representative is a leader who you choose to speak for you. Who did not have any representation and they got more and more and more upset because they did not have a say in their own laws. Who am I talking about? James.
The colonists.
Yes. More specifically, what colony? Where did the colony turn into? Where do we live? What country do we live in? What country do we live in?
North America.
What country do we live in?
Wisconsin.
What country do we live in?
United States.
Yes, thank you, America. Yes. All right, this is going to be, when did Christopher Columbus arrive in San Salvador? 1492, 1529, or 1620? Christian?
1620.
No. Toby? 14 what? 1492. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. It's a rhyme. Hope you remember. Say it out with me. 1492. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Whoa, that was a bad pass. Sorry about that. 1492. When did the Pilgrims find or discover Plymouth Colony? 1492. Well, you can scratch that one off. 1529 or 1620? Jeremiah.
1620.
Beautiful. Good job. All right. What is the term for items that have survived from the past and were written or made by the people who were there when the event happened. Primary or secondary source? Emmy. Primary is correct. You need to sit down and you need to pay attention. Good job. What was the main reason Europeans wanted to build colonies in America? Religious freedom, fur trade, or for trade, not for, or evangelize the Indians? What was the main reason, Grant? Nope. What was the main reason the colonists came over here? Helen?
For trade.
Yes. What was the name of the revival where many people in America turned to Christ? The Great Awakening, the Great Covenant, or the Great Revival? McKenna.
The Great Coveting.
The what?
The Great Coveting.
Who has not? Boy.
Great Awakening.
Yes. You act like it's hot. It's hot. What did the Pilgrim leaders call the laws they wrote? The Massachusetts Bay Compact, Mayflower Compact, or Indentured Compact? Pilgrim. There's one that should be just like bing, 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 bing. Who has not gotten candy? Olivia.
The second one.
Mayflower Compact? That is correct. Very good. What is a raw material? What is a raw material? I'm not talking about raw hamburger. What is a raw material? I know. Gross. Christian.
An apple or a fish or something that
Keep going. What is apple, fish? What are they? A raw material. What makes those items a raw material? You're correct. Those are raw materials, but why are they considered raw materials? Where do they come from?
the ground and the ocean.
So a raw material comes from nature.
Yes.
So they are not man-made. So what is another raw material? Good job, Christian. That is correct. All ready? Nice. So we got fish. We have apples. What else was a raw material? Now, apples would have come later, but when the colonies started to get into functioning, they could function and start doing things at a higher level, trading with Europe became important because they had raw materials. What else do the Europeans really want that the colonies had that they did not have a lot of? Luke.
Raw wood.
Wood was huge. And as it progressed, what else? That the war was fought over these things. What else was a huge raw material? That the French and Indian War became predominant of. Grayson.
Weapons.
No. Now, weapons are not raw materials. Now, weapons would be traded with raw materials because the colonists did not have weapons. Who had the weapons? Who had the weapons that the colonists needed? Owen.
French.
Well, yeah. The Europeans. The Brits, the French, Spaniards. So what was the thing that the French and Indian War was fought for? James.
Land.
Land. Sorry. What else was a big one? It was land and what else? Helen.
Fur.
Yes, unfortunately. Fur.
Oh,
I agree. No, we're not going to throw that out. We are not going to throw that out, Grayson. That is not nice. I don't like that. That'd be like you saying Axel and Mia and Luna or Pex. That is not nice. Can you please apologize to Cole?
Sorry, Cole.
Yeah, that is not acceptable. That is mean. All right, so we just talked about the French and British fought for land and fur in the French and Indian War. Why did Christopher Columbus sail west? What was his main objective? What was his main objective? Main reason for sailing to uncharted lands? What was he trying to discover? It was very expensive to sail under Africa. So he wanted to do what? Gabe?
Discover the new land?
No, he didn't even know he was going to discover a new land. That was all by accident. He was trying to discover what? New what? McKenna.
New ways to get to different places so people can trade easier.
Trade routes. Beautiful. Sorry for the bad toss. Who paid for his trip? And where's this person from? Emmy. Huh? No, not the French. Gabe.
India?
No. Luke.
England?
No. Boy, friends, you're going to study tonight. Jeremiah.
Griffith?
No. Jonathan.
Spain?
Yes. And who is the queen? Mrs. Reed loves to say her name.
Queen Isabella?
Queen Isabella. Well, those do not fly well. They catch air. All right. Why did the Pilgrims come to America? Now, completely different than the initial colonists, like the Puritans or the initial colonists. The Pilgrims had a very specific reason they left England. What was that reason? Very specific. Helen,
To escape from the king.
escape what?
So then they could believe in what they want to believe in.
More specific. You are correct. But what is it that they wanted freedom to do? There is something very specific. Helen.
So then they didn't, so the king didn't have to tell them what faith they had to believe in.
What?
What faith they had
Bingo.
to believe in.
They were pursuing religious freedom. The king was telling him, King George III was telling them what they can believe in, what faith they had to have, and how they could worship. Yes, Jeremiah.
Can you hear that, Candy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so religious freedom. What is an indentured servant? It is not somebody who wears dentures and fake teeth. Dentures are fake teeth. That is not what I'm after. What is an indentured servant? Winsheen. Bingo. Nice job. Oh my goodness, that was a bad pass. Sorry about that. Okay, so what is the difference between an indentured servant and a slave? Because also remember at this time, trading was involving slaves, people, trading people. So what is the difference between an indentured servant and a slave? Olivia.
Slaves have to work, harder.
They did have to work hard. I'm not going to, I'm not going to deny that. But what is the main difference? So we just established that an indentured servant does what? What is an indentured servant? Is someone who pays a debt for work instead of money. So let's remember, back in that time, getting across to the New World was very expensive. So it was very hard to buy a ticket to go to the New World. So a lot of people would make a deal with somebody: if you pay me to get here, I will work off this money. That is an indentured servant. So they have to work for this person until their debt is paid off. What is the difference between that and a slave? Toby, you're going to have to speak loud and proud, please.
A slave doesn't do like that.
A slave doesn't what?
That.
Slave doesn't, I still can't, can you just take your mask off for a second? I cannot.
A slave doesn't do that.
No, well, what is this? Okay, friends, what is a slave? Jeremiah.
Somebody that works hard and doesn't get paid.
Yes. All right, so we're getting closer. What is the difference between an indentured servant and a slave? What is the main thing? They both work hard. One works for what, while the other one works because they have to. They're owned. James. Money. Does a slave get paid for what they do? No. So the main difference between an indentured servant and a slave is a slave is owned. They are traded like raw materials. They have no freedom and they work for nothing. They are property. An indentured servant works off a debt. A debt is something that they cannot afford, so they work for it until it is paid off in full. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Who fought in the Revolutionary War? Who fought in the Revolutionary War? Who does not have any candy? Does anybody have their hand up that doesn't have any candy?
I don't care about candy.
Dave, who fought in the Revolutionary War? What two sides? What two countries fought in the Revolutionary War?
The British?
Yep. Fought who? No. You should know, because it impacts your life today. Toby, who fought in the Revolutionary War? Grayson.
British
And
Americans.
why was it fought? Why did the Americans fight in the Revolutionary War? Just because they thought it would be fun? Because they were bigger and more mightier than England? No. They had a bigger navy, bigger army, more weapons. No. They were the extreme underdogs, friends. America, it was. But so why did they fight? Owen.
So they can be part of making the laws.
That's one reason. They wanted to be represented. They wanted to have voice. What else were the British doing that was completely out of control for the colonists? Emmy. Sheen. Independence. Whoa, overshot that one. Here, just take this one. Cole, what did you have a reason? I thought your hand was up. No?
We forgot it.
All right, so I'll take the Tootsie Roll back. James. Yes. Because remember, what happened in Boston, that they was kind of the last straw. What went into the Massachusetts Bay, the Boston Harbor, I should say? Lots and lots of spaghetti. That would be very disgusting. The fish probably would like it. McKenna, what went into the Massachusetts or the Boston Harbor?
Tea.
Yes, lots and lots of tea.
The boats would get stuck in the spaghetti.
What was that?
The boats would get stuck.
Ew, can you imagine? Ugh, it'd be so gross. All right, so this is the deal. You all have a lot of studying to do. I gave you a bunch of handouts, and I told you to go over them. Because I am not buying that you did, I am having the test tomorrow. So, dates, the 2 dates that I rattled off. When did Christopher Columbus sail the ocean blue? 1492, 1529, 1620. Grayson.
1492.
Yes, 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Remember that. 92, ocean blue. They rhyme. It's a good way to remember. What about when did the Pilgrims discover Plymouth Colony? 1492, 1529, 1620. Emmy. Yes, those 2 dates are very important. Remember them. They're also in those sheets that I gave you. All right, so another thing you can do is obviously go through your review pages, chapter review in your manual, 14, 15, 16. Remember the map where the 2 places are, which is Plymouth and Massachusetts Bay Colony. Remember those. But I would suggest highly, if you haven't done the chapter reviews on 14, 15, and 16, do them because they were valuable information. Questions? All right, I'm going to give you time to study. You can either study your social studies, you can get your math done, but this is now study hall, starting now. You are going to work